She was tough. No nonsense, Edna McRae. She was very demanding. She would say, give me examples of 3/4 music. So we'd give her a few examples, like a waltz, and some guy said, and a polonaise. She says, it's not a polonaise from Poland, it's a polonaise from Poland. And it goes 1 and a 2 and 3 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and. And she would make us take chalk and write Polonnaise. And then she would say, she'd have another thing with 5 things of chalk, and she'd make a staff. And she said, write it in note values. I mean, you don't get training like that anywhere. And she would say, it's not a forte, it's a fouette, spelled Fouette with an accent aigu on the E, and it means to whip. So we had to learn to spell. We don't spit on the French language. And if you didn't, she'd whack you. I mean, not in the head or anything like that, but she'd push your shoulder or something like that. She was tough because she knew. She said to me, she said, we have to stuff into you in 2 years what it takes other people 10 years to learn if you want to go out into the world and start working. And we did. Guess what? We did. And I really have the basis for any kind of dancing. You know, the ballet training, the tap training. She taught us, that woman that we just saw the photograph of, taught us basic tap. And when we got to a point where we were getting more advanced, she'd bring someone in who was a great tap teacher, and we'd take a tap lesson with whoever it was. And the same thing with jazz. She brought in a fellow named Bob Frellison to teach us jazz. Pas de deux with the girls in the class. She said, if you're gonna do pas de deux with people, you're gonna have to lift. You better start going to the gym. And my gym days started, and I did lift. And I have to tell you about one. I did. She would take us out to do different kinds of performances all over the city. Leonard's Polish restaurant on New Year's Eve, doing the Mexican hat dance, and then one of the things that I believe Faye Driscoll, who we're going to meet in a while's mom, was in. We did excerpts from Swan Lake at the Chicago Opera House, accompanied by, are you ready for this? 100 accordions playing Swan Lake.
Wow.
And I did the pas de deux with one of the girls in Miss McRae's class. But she wanted to give us a professional background training, so we would go out there and do it, not just in class and do a bar and everything, but go out and use what we've learned in front of an audience so that we knew how to sell it as well. She was an amazing, amazing woman. If it were not for Edna McRae, I would not have had a life in the theater.